You're impossibly fast and strong. Your nails are stained and your fingers are ice cold. And sometimes you speak like you're talking to a camera. I know what you are.
Say it. Out loud.
Nail polish cowboy.
Hello, my children. Your father has watched your swatching video. Tell me why did it come in this many? Who has that many mouths?
Someone's throwing a Nosferatu beach party.
Hello, my children. Your father has brought you a swatching video. Prism Parade.
You said prison.
I know. Prism Parade will be, or have, just released their Bloodlust collection. I'll find out depending on when this video comes out. Oh, relative to January 30th, because that's the release date. And this collection consists of 5 new polishes and a topper. And if you couldn't tell, it's a different take on Valentine's, as this entire collection was inspired by vampires. But before we get into the rest of the video, I do want to disclose that Jill, the brand owner, and I are really good friends. Even though we are friends, I'm going to try to be as unbiased as possible. And spoiler alert, but this collection does have a color palette that Jill nor I thought I was going to like it, and I ended up really loving it. Not every single color.
What's the color palette overall?
Any idea. But also, I told her from the get-go that I was the most excited for the topper, and that still holds true. Anyways, I do want to mention that I do have an affiliate code with Prism Parade, so you can use the link in the description below. Blood. Don't worry, it's just wax. We just watched that episode of Amphibia.
I forgot.
I'm aware. Anyways, I do want to mention that I do have an affiliate code with Prism Parade, so you can use the link in the description below, or code ND10 for 10% off at checkoff. Checkout. Checkoff.
No, Romanov. I don't know, Chekhov, Romanov.
What did you sing with it?
I don't know.
No, Romanov.
I don't remember Anastasia.
Neither did she. So let's open up the coffin on these swatches. Well, wait. Up first, we have Turn Me. All I'm thinking of is like a cult boppet. Turn Me.
It sounds very sexual, very cheeky.
Jillian was just like, y'all hold my garlic.
Cheeky, Jillian.
This is described as a fresh blood shade. It's a bright blood red with gold, orange, and red shimmer. Now to me, this was slightly more of a metallic, deep, hot pink, especially on that first coat. On that first coat, I also noticed some kind of silver flecks in it. I don't really know what those were, but I think that's what helped give it its metallic-y shine. Now I will say that first coat also didn't have the most even application, but I could have overworked it because it was fairly cold when I swatched this. And on the second coat, it built up to pretty much full opacity. I still saw a little bit of visible nail line, but I am using very harsh lighting, so I did paint a third coat to be sure.
We're having fun.
Are we? Stroking my foot.
Playing footsies.
I need you to know that for the longest time I thought footsies was an actual game. Like I thought it was the equivalent of thumb wrestling, but under the table. And so when everyone was like playing footsies, I was like, yeah, will.
I'm gonna stomp you into the ground! The boulder!
The boulder! And overall, I am glad that I did a third coat because it made it more vibrant and closer to what it looked like in the bottle. There is a slight touch of visible nail line, but I really think that is because of my super intense lighting. When I took it into indirect lighting, I didn't notice that. Now, speaking of the lighting, at first I really didn't care for this color because it has such a bright, cherry, almost pinkish red in this bright light, but when I took it to indirect lighting, it looks a lot more blood red with some of that golden shift in there as well. So I actually like this a lot more out of my studio lighting. As for comparisons, I put it next to a bunch of shimmery red things in my collection, and the 3 in the middle are what I thought it looked the most like on the nail in the original footage, but putting it next to other brighter orangey reds, it does look a lot more blood red. However, it's still not bloody blood red like I would say the Arsonist or Rita, another Prism Parade polish, is. So overall, this one surprised me. I will say though, it isn't something that I like in every lighting though. In brighter lighting, it tends to pull a little bit more pinky and less of a deep bloody red. But in some lighting, it is that perfect bloody red. So when it doesn't look like how I swatched it, I actually like it a lot more. I don't know what that means about it. So if you like red, you'll probably like it because it's like a perfect shade for Valentine's Day. So I think because this isn't something that I always like, but it did still surprise me overall, I'm gonna give this 3.5 inappropriate hissing out of 5. Catch the Sims 4 reference right there. Vladdy-daddy.
Does he inappropriately hit?
Yes. Oh, these are still the floor ones.
They are the floor ones.
Well,
This isn't trash.
no, they're mine now. I'm gonna save that for later.
Now you definitely need to put it in the trash. It was on the ground twice.
And moving on, we have Vieux Sang.
That was lovely. I love that.
Je suis français. Okay, for those of us who aren't experts at Duolingo French, this translates to Old Blood. It is described as a purple-leaning antique red lacquer with a soft gold to red shimmer. Now, on the first coat, it looks like a deeper, slightly purpley version of the previous polish. It was also not super even and did dry a little quick on that first coat, but once again, it could have been because it was cold, so be careful not to overwork this. And for some reason, I also thought it was appropriate to write down that I did not see those silver flakies in this one.
No flicks.
No flicks. The second coat looked surprisingly good, but there was a touch of visible nail line, especially when it was over a lighter backdrop, so I did do a third coat to try to cover that up. Oh! When I dropped and spilled polish on the table because I decided that it would be a good idea to stop using the silicone mat.
And that's why we use a silicone mat, children.
No, I think it looks really pretty. Comment below if you think that the without the silicone mat looks nice or not. Or if you hate it. That's also good data. Please tell me. Feedback, please. Now, in 3 coats, it came together and it looks like a much more deep hot pink version of the previous polish. But somehow I actually like it, which feels a little weird. It feels like Ego Stroker 9000 in tone, but not the same finish. I'll put them next to each other for the comparisons. Actually, I'm gonna do the comparisons right now. So it doesn't actually look that similar to Ego Stroker 9000, as it is a much more saturated and darker pinky purpley red color. But I will say it's without turning as cherry red, as I did also put Turn Me, the previous polish, at the end of the lineup so you can see how they look together. Now my notes, I actually wrote, not sure where I feel about this, will ask self later. It is time to ask self later.
Self?
How
do you feel?
I said I was going to ask self, not you were going to ask self for me.
Okay, go ahead.
Self, how do you feel about this? I like it now. No, like, I do actually like it a little bit more than I thought I was going to. Like, this one has surprised me the most because it's a color that I would absolutely never turn to because it's like a fuchsia pinky purpley reddy color. I'm just gonna name every warm tone. I'm sorry. Thank you for watching this video. But I think it's because I really don't like it in the bright lighting because the bright lighting makes it look so pink, but the moment it's in indirect lighting, it looks even more deeper blood red than the previous polish.
But like old blood? Like dried blood, maybe?
Like the name suggests.
Like dried blood.
Well, it's old blood, not dried blood. I don't know what dried blood is in French. Duolingo never taught me that. So that's why I actually like this one more than the previous one, and I will say that if I was gonna purchase some of the polishes from this collection, I probably wouldn't have picked up both. Though if I'm being entirely honest, I don't think that this is one that I would have bought, but I actually am happy that I have it because it surprised me. But I think that's just strictly my own color preferences. So this polish is gonna get 4.5, excuse my French, fromage out of 5. And next up we have Immortal Desire. This is described as a purple-based polish with large particle pink and orange shimmer. There's pink. I only saw the orange, but maybe that's what gives it its warmer color. I trust you, Jillian. I just don't. Nope, never mind. My first note said, oops, super nice, deep purple with red, hopefully not pink shimmer. On the first coat, it was a pretty even, bright, vibrant-y purple, maybe indigo-leaning jelly, with this aggressive, vibrant shimmer. Now, the first thing that this polish reminded me of was unicorn pea, so I was a little worried that this wasn't going to be able to build up to full opacity, like some of the other ones that I've had in the past. But this one did surprise me as it was able to get to full coverage by the third coat. I think because the particle is on the larger side, but still thin enough, it was able to hide the visible nail line while still getting that glowing from within look. Now there was still a touch of visible nail line, but that was expected, and it was also thin on the tips, but that could be because of application, as I keep forgetting to wrap the tips sooner in application as some have suggested. So as for comparisons, primarily I put it next to Unicorn No. 1 by Holo Taco because I think these two polishes live in the same realm. Spooky realm. Because vampires. I think that they look similar on a spiritual level, but Unicorn No. 1 is a little lighter, probably because it is thinner and showing a little bit more of the swatch stick, and the shimmer is more densely packed and finer. Formula-wise, this one does feel a little bit closer to Dead Reckoning from Prism Parade's Tainted Thirst collection, but ultimately they are different colors. So overall, I do like this one. I think that that deep purple color with that bright shimmer in it is a really nice combo, and then this shimmer in particular kind of pulls a little golden in some angles, which makes it look even more interesting, and then gold, so I like it. But it was a little on the thinner side for something that I always enjoy. I was able to get minimal visible nail line, but I did struggle with the tips. People say to do it one way, and I just don't listen.
To wrap the tip first.
Yeah.
I think especially with jellies, you kind of have to wrap the tip first.
I'm sorry, I'm an old dog and I refuse to learn new tricks.
An immortal dog?
No, I forgot I wanted to tell you this. All of these polishes sound like vampire smut novels.
You know, that probably was part of the intent.
I hope it is, Jillian. I love you. Immortal Desire. I'm gonna leave all of you with that fact. Have that in mind when we get to the next two polishes. So back to this polish, this is gonna get 4 Vampire x Harry Potter fanfics named My Immortal Desire out of 5. J.K. Rowling, protect trans kids. And next up, we have Fangtease.
That was so vulgar.
This is described as a purple jelly polish with pink, purple, blue color shifting chameleon flakies. Now on the first coat, it actually was the most even in terms of application, and I actually couldn't tell if those flakies were iridescent or metallic. I still don't know the answer. Jillian? Now because this one was so jelly, it did need 3 coats to get to full opacity, but it ultimately was at full opacity and had no visible nail line. I think that's because the flakes really blocked the visible nail line while being suspended in that nice squishy jelly purple. Wow, I just described jelly as nice.
I believe he's improving.
One thing I do want to note is that it looks slightly more blue leaning on camera, but that could be a consequence of not using the black silicone mat that I usually use as a background. Now, as for comparisons, I put it next to 2 of Holo Taco's Deep Sea Jelly polishes, because that collection was jellies with iridescent or metallic flakies in it. I don't remember which one. I probably should, seeing as how I'm a nail polish reviewer.
Those were iridescent.
He's the one that knows what's happening. I'm the talent.
Yeah, but how talented are you?
Oh. No, I'm fragile. Say something nice.
You're perfect, you're beautiful, you're stunning. You look like Linda Evangelista. Vampire Tina.
Vampire.
Your smile is beautiful.
Ooh la la.
Now, on camera, it looks a lot closer to Crashing Out, but I think in real life, it does look a lot closer to Don't Be Jelly. It really is a nice in-between the two, but it is a little bit more deeper purple leaning outside of this footage. Now, I really like this one because I don't think that Prism Parade has ever done something like this before, so it looks really different from the things that Jill has made in the past, and it just makes your nails look like purple gemstones, and I really like it. Now, when Jill first FaceTimed us and showed us this whole collection, this one, along with the topper, was my initial favorites, but I think after getting to wear it, I still think that Vieux Sang is my favorite one. Even though it's a color that I wouldn't expect to love, I do think that it's my favorite. So I think I'm gonna give this 4.4 vampires who sucked the blood of gingers a little too often, and now we're at the dentist with gingivitis, out of 5. And last up we have Tainted Thirst. This is described as a muted grape-based polish with large particle blue to green shifting shimmer and microfine holographic glitter. How dare you yawn at me?
I'm showing my things.
Oh, okay. Now on the first coat, it was not the base color that I expected, as I thought it would be as purple as the previous polish, but I think the base is more similar to the French one. Now the green shimmer is really aggressive and a touch jarring, but I think it's in a good way because they don't traditionally go together and it makes it stand out. And I also think that it looks like there's a touch of hollow sparkle in there, even though it doesn't say that in the description. Now it did have one of the more even coverages out of the other polishes, but it did really struggle to get to full opacity in my opinion. I had to double dip in the bottle, so I would ultimately say this was maybe 3.8 coats, and the tips of the nails were still a little thin. Once again though, I think it's because I'm in a little bit harsher of lighting. Some lighting person, please tell me how to fix it. I just have one spotlight that I put a snoot on it, and that might be too bright. I don't know, someone tell me what to do. But one thing that is really interesting is how green this polish looks when it's in more indirect lighting, because the green shimmer shows up more. But in the bottle it looks blue. Oh, good night, sweet baby. As for comparisons, I don't have anything that looks exactly like this. I think the closest in vibe is maybe Polish Me Silly's Wonder Glow, even though that is a lot more brighter and in-your-face pinky purple. But I think the closest in formula is Shiver Scale by Prism Parade. Even though it is a lighter purple, it is still a purple with a greeny, maybe blue shimmer in it. Now overall, I like this one, but I'm not super obsessed. I know typically I really like the competing base and shimmer color, but I don't know, something about this one is just not sparking joy. For me. If you love it, then I love that for you. Not for me. I think part of the problem is that I like the others in this collection more, so this polish kind of feels like that one vampire child at your vampire school who never grew into their adult vampire fangs, and thus everyone made fun of them and they're just there. Out of 5. Oh wait, I forgot to do the rating. 3. Do I stand by 3? Yeah. So here's all the polishes together. I think I really like this color palette because it really fits the theme of Valentine's plus vampires, and I think it's a really nice take on a Valentine's color palette, as it's different from the traditional pastel and light versions of these things that I would see from other brands. I do want to add that my favorite thing about these polishes is that they do seem very transformative in different lightings, as different aspects shine in different lighting types, which just leads to a more interesting overall look on the nail. And finishing up the collection, we have Say It Out Loud. Wait, speaking of vampires, how many of you also had Taylor Lautner as your gay awakening? Or was it also Kovu from Lion King 2? This is described as a silver reflective glitter and microfine holographic topper. So I painted this over every polish in the collection to see how it paired with it. Overall, it is a little dense, but I do think that's only when it's at specific angles where the reflective glitter is being activated. Otherwise, it just looks like shiny stars and occasional rainbow sparkles. Now personally, I like this over every polish in the collection, but I do think it looks a little lost over Tainted Thirst and maybe a little too bright over Turn Me. Probably my favorite though is this topper over Immortal Desire. Family, vote in the comments below. I think it looks really nice over Fangtease. Husband disagrees because he thinks it's too busy. Let us know.
Reflective glitters are like the bane of my existence.
Oh yeah, wait.
Texture.
Yeah. I mean, I've been wearing this for like long enough to get a chip. It's smoothed out from the rough and tough wear and tear of being the Naildadddy. Oh, is the lump emerging?
Lump?
Oh God, don't fall. Whoa.
I got a lump. Did you overheat too much?
Okay.
Goodbye.
It's like, I won't be your prop anymore, Dad. As for comparisons, I don't have any topper that has both of these effects in one, so I tried making my own. I used Scattered Hollow Taco and Reflective Taco, both by Hollow Taco. If you couldn't guess by all the tacos. Why does Hollow Taco not release polishes on Tuesday so it can be Hollow Taco Tuesday? The biggest difference is that this topper is a lot more dense than the two toppers put together. So while it gets the same effect, it really does punch you in the face with sparkly glitter, as a vampire should. So overall, I found this one to be really pretty, but it is a little too dense for what I think I would turn to at all times because it does hide a little bit of the background color. Background? Why did I say background?
Yeah.
Background. Oh, I'm a little Minnesota mom. Background. Salad. So this polish is going to get 4.5 tweens fighting over Team Edward or Team Jacob to the death out of 5. And it wouldn't be a Prism Parade video if I didn't test all these polishes out over black. The first two polishes don't look that different over black, maybe just a little darker. Now Immortal Desire doesn't look that different, but Fangtease does look like an even more yummy gemstone. Wowza. And finally, Tainted Thirst only shows the green as expected. Now, I really like this whole collection over black. I always usually like Prism Parade stuff over black because it's the right level of opacity where you can build it up in 3 coats, but still have the flexibility to wear this over a darker color and have like 2 collections in one. I think all of these look in some way very wearable over black. And I did want to test the topper over all of them too, not because I was curious of what it would look like, just because it's pretty and sparkly and I like it. Look at the sparkle, sparkle. The sparkle. Sparkle, sparkle, sparkle. So now that you've seen everything, let me know what you think. Do you remember what you wrote? Do these polishes make you want to bare your fangs, or are they nose for rot too? That was supposed to be not for you. You say it. I don't know how to say it.
Nosferatu.
No.
Not for you.
Okay, you can't even do it. And quick reminder, if you're interested in supporting us, you can join as a channel member with the link in the description below. So thank you to my Titan Wranglers, but an extra special shout out to the many members of the Silver Spurs Club. Wow, thank you. Anyways, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye. Bye.
How unflattering.
You're just like a koala hanging off of me.
And I'm giving you chlamydia.